Today we are going to learn about the sky at night.
Cambridge. When you grow up, what will you be? She grows, she learns, she improves. Her interest is growing. Her passion is growing stronger.
She grows in confidence.
She grows in confidence. This is where ambition grows, where potential grows, and where your future grows.
Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to learn about the sky at night.
Cambridge is where your world grows.
Very good evening to all teachers and Spocs who have gathered for the orientation. So some ground rules before we begin. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Samuel. I'm based out of Chennai, and I take active part in this entire project. I'm responsible for the orientation on Cambridge English course that is offered through Naan, Mudhalvan. So in today's session, I'll be taking you through a complete briefing to tell you what is the course about, what is the role of the various stakeholders involved into the program, what support would offered from Cambridge, and escalation matrix and mark allocation. So these are various topics that we will be discussing under orientation of Cambridge English course. Okay, ma'am, there's a very interesting question by one of the participants which says why there is no information regarding the course from the concerned university so far. So if you can tell me what is the information that you're expecting, might be I can check, or I'm not really sure what is the information that you're expecting. So if you could just let me know that, it would be great. Okay, prescribed syllabus. Okay. Participants who are hesitating to type, I would expect just use a one-worder to say what is your challenge, like syllabus, marks. Okay, so if you could tell me that, then it would help me address your concerns, then move on to the presentation, because we also have a lot of participants who are attending this orientation for the first time. Syllabus, definitely it's a part of my presentation. I'll talk about that in detail, and I'll also spend more time on that. Okay, a lot of options are there in software. Okay, fine. Handling of classes. Okay. Syllabus not clear. Okay, fine. Okay, so what we will do is syllabus and grading. Okay, so syllabus and grading is going to be a very important point that I discuss. Before I get on to my presentation, is it okay if I speak completely in English, or would you want me to speak in bilingual? During the presentation, would you want me to use speak in Tamil here and there so that you're able to understand and make a note of it, or is English fine with all of you? Okay, app, I will definitely do that. Handling of classes and process after diagnostic test. Okay, brilliant. Okay, how to monitor students, fine. Okay, English, please. Okay, great. Bilingual, fine. Okay. Janani ma'am, I think we've already spoken over phone, so we will take that offline. This orientation is basically to give you an overview about the course, and if there are any specific questions regarding the course, we will talk about that. We don't understand Tamil. Okay, fine. Bilingual is good. Okay. Okay, bilingual is good. Fine. Okay, so all your questions, I'm going to answer it. This orientation is just going to take me 45 minutes to take you through step by step. I would request wherever you are, if you can at least take a paper or a notepad and a pen and keep it next to you. So whatever important points that I say, if you can make a note of it, it would be great. Necessity about the diagnostic test. Yeah, definitely I'll speak about that. Okay. We'll talk about all of this, whichever you put in the chat box. I'll talk about that in detail. It's already there, which is a part of my PPT. We've been doing it in the previous orientation. What I would request you is, in case if I missed out any important point which you already messaged me before the start of the program, kindly resend that. Today, even if it takes 7, I'm going to stay with you and I'm going to explain to you in detail to say how we are going to go about it. So whatever question you have, I'm organizing this orientation just for you to clarify all your doubts. So every participant who's a part of this orientation, at the end of the orientation, I want you to be very clear. We also have a timeline matrix built into it. I will also talk about that in detail. Okay, so if there is any questions that you have, kindly use the chat window, send me those questions at the end of the presentation. Or what you could also do is, there is an icon called speak. You will see an and symbol like this. If you can click on that, might be I can allow a few people to speak at the end of the presentation. Okay, so let's not waste time. Let's get directly into the orientation. Just give me a minute. I will be back with you. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so let's get on to the presentation. I'm just sharing my screen. Just give me a minute so that you could see my screen. Yeah. So I hope all of you could see my screen. Thank you, Shiba ma'am, for confirming. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take you through a detailed presentation. It is arranged in a sequence where it starts with the overview of the program, and then it talks about the role of the stakeholder, and then it talks about mark allocation, and what is the support offered, and the timelines for the entire program. And the last I've kept it for Q&A, and I've also kept it for live demo as well. Okay, in between, I'm going to do certain checks to ensure that everything is going fine. So in case if I ask a question, whether you are able to see my screen, please let me know, because that is where I know that I'm connected with you and you're able to receive my information. As I said, I hope all of you have got your notepad and pen. In case if you have not got your notepad and pen, I'll give you a few seconds. Kindly go get your notepad and pen. It is very important. So I'm also going to make a note of all the questions that you put on the chat window. So I'm going to answer each question so that at the end of the program, all of you are clear. Okay. So I'm going back to my screen so that you're able to see my presentation. For the participants who just joined in, I'm Samuel. I'm based out of Chennai. I'm a part of Cambridge University Press and Assessment, and I'm the program manager for the Cambridge English course, which is offered through the Naan Mudhalvan initiative. So that is about me. Just to give you an intro into the program course name is called Overview of English Language Communication Assessment and Certification from Cambridge. So this is the course title. In your university, it is either called Part 2 or it is called Language for Proficiency and Employability. So I'm re-emphasizing, this paper is called Language for Proficiency and Employability, or Part 2 paper. When we say Part 2, some call it Communicative English, some refer it to as Part 2, some call it as Language for Proficiency Employability. So that paper is what there is a change that is made. So in the place of Part 2, we are offering a Cambridge English course. So what is this Cambridge English course about? What are we going to see in this course, or how is the course structured? Okay, so the thing that you need to remember, this is not a complete online program or a complete offline program. Okay, offline program, it's a blended course. Okay, so when I say blended course, there is teaching that happens by the faculty in the classroom. We don't come to the class and teach students. There is teaching that has to be done by the faculty in the classroom. There are 15 units given. So those 15 units are your syllabus. Okay, and you have two courses, A2 and B1. You teach either of the course. Either you teach an A2 course in your classroom or you teach a B1 course. Now this English blended program focuses on 4 skills. 4 skills are listening, reading, speaking, and writing. I'm re-emphasizing it's a blended course, which means it is not completely online or completely offline. It's a combination of online and offline. It focuses on 4 skills: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Listening and reading, we call it receptive skill. Listening and reading வந்து நம்ம receptive skill ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். Speaking and writing, we call them productive skill. So in your classroom, in the NM period, உங்க NM periodல allocate பண்ண periodல you will have to train students on speaking and writing. Speaking and writing has to be trained in the period allocated to you. Okay, when students are free or over the weekend, or if you have an additional hour, in that time you will do the listening and reading, and you will do a few other activities. So digital program is done not in your regular NM period. It would either be done when students are free or in the evening or over the weekend. It is completely an understanding between the student and the institution, but the program is mandate. It has to be completed by the student. Okay, moving on to the second point. Productive skill is what teachers will be teaching. Adukku we have given you a complete lesson plan which has 15 units. So you will have to follow that in your NM period. In NM period, you will have to ensure that you train students on speaking and writing. Please keep in mind, it is not easy to complete 15 units before April 15th or April 20th. You will have to complete at least 10 units, 10 to 12 units have to be completed before April 12th. So you will have to plan that accordingly. So speaking and writing is what you will be training students on in NM period. Okay, now who should train? Teachers who have attended either the in-person workshop or the online program, they are the ones who will be involved in training. Unga departmentல 20 faculty இருக்காங்க, 10 faculty தான் attend பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னா அந்த 10 faculty தான் should train. So if there are only 10 faculties who have attended the training program, it is only those 10 faculties have to be involved in training. If you think that you need to use your entire department of 20 faculties, all 20 faculties should go through training. 20 faculty should go through training to train students. Okay, over student there is unique access given or digital access given for the learning. So in their free time, they will go to the LMS and practice the digital learning, or the self learning will be practiced in the free time or over the weekend. So there are clear timelines. I will talk about that very shortly. So keep in mind, the course is a blended course. Teachers will teach speaking and writing. Students will practice listening, reading. Yes, they will also have support practice for speaking and writing. And training for students happens by teachers who are trained by Cambridge. Are you clear about this? We are offering online FDP. So the online FDP, we request whoever has not attended our in-person workshop but wants to train students can attend the online FDP. Okay, so online FDP is organized for teachers who have not been trained by Cambridge. So we are organizing the online FDP for all teachers. Okay, so great. You've understood about the course. We are moving on to the next part of it. The question that all of you ask us is, what is the marks? All of you are clear about the credit. இன்னைக்கு ஓரியன்டேஷன்ல இருக்கிற அனைவருக்கும் கிரெடிட் பத்தி கிளாரிட்டி உண்டு, பட் மார்க்ஸ் எப்படி அலோகேட் பண்ணுவோம்? So total marks in the paper பாத்தீங்கன்னா it's 100 marks. The total marks allocated for this paper, which you call as part 2 or language for proficiency for employability or Cambridge English course or NM skill course. Various colleges use various terminology, but the terminology that we say is NM skill course. So for NM English skill course, the marks allocated is 100. மொத்த மார்க் பாத்தீங்கன்னா 100 mark. Total marks allocated for this program is 100. In 100 marks, Cambridge awards 75 marks. 25 marks, whichever is by the university or whatever is your existing pattern for communicative English, you will follow that 25 marks. I'm re-emphasizing, I'm stressing on this. மொத்த mark 100 mark. 100 markல Cambridge 75 mark will be awarded. 25 மார்க் நீங்க என்ன பேட்டர்ன் ஃபாலோ பண்றீங்களோ அதே பேட்டர்ன் யூ கேன் கண்டினியூ டு ஃபாலோ. உங்களுக்கு பேட்டர்ன் இல்லைன்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா யூ கேன் ரீக்ரியேட் யுவர் ஓன் பேட்டர்ன். Okay, please keep in mind total marks for this paper is 100 marks. 75 will be awarded from Cambridge, 25 by the college or the university. Whatever pattern you follow, you continue to follow the same pattern. Now, how is the 75 marks allocated? I'm just giving you a breakup of what we have proposed. Diagnostic test, 25 marks. So if a student attempts the diagnostic test, he gets 20 marks. Okay, the lowest level diagnostic test gives you three possible results, either A1, A2 or B1. So if you've got A1, it is 20 marks. உங்களுக்கு A2 வந்திருந்ததுன்னா 23 marks, B1 and above இருக்குன்னா உங்களுக்கு 25 marks. In terms of percentage, it would be 55. When I talk about that, you will get to see this would be around 95 and above, I believe. Okay, so lowest is 55. 55% வாங்குனீங்கன்னா 20 marks உங்களுக்கு, அதுக்கு மேல வாங்குனீங்கன்னா 23, and then after that what you get is 25. Final assessment for a student, we give you 50 marks. That would be converted and given to you. You will get an international grading. The international grading A1, A2 and B1 will be converted and given to you for 50. So 50 plus whatever you get. If you get 20 here, 50 plus 20 is 70. If you've got 40 here, 40 plus 20 will be 60. So at the end of the final assessment, for all colleges, we will send a consolidated list. Just to give you an example, Government Arts and Science College for Men, Chennai. If there is a college in that name, they will get a consolidated list to say total number of students 1500. This is the mark awarded for Shankar. This is the mark awarded for Ravi. This is the mark awarded for Jay Kumar. So clear mention ஆய் அங்க இருக்கும். We will not segregate the mark. 75 க்கு என்ன மார்க்கோ இது ரெண்டும் combined ஆய் அங்க இருக்கும். 20 plus 40, 23 plus 23. So the mark will be combined. 75 க்கு how much is the student secured? You will have clarity there. But this is the math behind the allocation of 75 mark. I hope all of you are clear with this. I'm moving on to the next one. இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம்ல மொத்தம் 3 பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஒன்னு ஸ்டூடெண்ட், இன்னொன்னு டீச்சர், இன்னொன்னு நான் முதல்வன் ஸ்பாக். ப்ரோக்ராம்ல மொத்தம் 3 பேர் இருக்காங்க, டீச்சர், ஸ்பாக் அண்ட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட். சரிங்களா? முதல் டீச்சரோட ரோல் என்னன்னு சொல்லி நம்ம கிளியரா பார்க்கலாம். லெட்ஸ் லுக் இன்டு வாட் இஸ் தி ரோல் ஆஃப் தி டீச்சர். The role of the teacher is to first train students using A2 or B1 content and complete all 15 units. உங்களுக்கு 15 units கொடுத்திருக்கும். Those 15 units are your syllabus. உங்களுக்கு A2 and B1 is there. So I would recommend you start with A2. Based on diagnostic result, you could either move on to a B1 or you could continue with A2. For now, in your NM period, you start with A2. Okay, A2 course வந்து you will have to start teaching. So this course ends in April. Okay, in the course one will end in April. April 15th, your teaching has to end, because from April 15th or April 10th to 30th, we will be doing the final assessment. So first key point for a teacher is you will have to train students on speaking, writing using the A2 and B1 material. 15 units are there. You should at least complete 12 units and about 10 to 12 units. Compulsory, you should have planned and completed that. Okay. Second role of the teacher, there is digital learning for students. So students, digital learning, you will have to encourage them. You will need to ensure that in every class you check the performance of the student and you keep a tab to say how far are the students progressing. Okay, there are 3 milestones for students. We'll talk about it. But please keep in mind, apart from training them on speaking, writing, you will have to track progress of students. Okay. Third important point for a teacher is attend various sessions that we are organizing. We call them community sessions. Okay. The session that we call AMA session, Ask Me Anything session, happens every Friday. Okay. So every Friday, if you have any specific question or you have a challenge, please bring it to our notice. Friday between 4 to 5, it's a fixed session where representatives from Cambridge and Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, that's Naan Mudhalvan team, they will join in to be a part of this session. Apart from Ask Me Anything session, For teachers who have not gone through training or who don't know how to use the syllabus in classroom, we are organizing online session. So there is online sessions happening. Tomorrow you have a session. I have already sent the invite. I will resend the invite in the group tonight. So kindly attend tomorrow's session if you have not attended. If you have attended, kindly don't attend. Also to emphasize, whatever support activity we do it for the teacher or the Spoc. Kindly do not share this invite to students. உங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்கு இந்த இன்வைட்டை தயவு செய்து ஷேர் பண்ணாதீங்க. Whatever info that we are doing or programs we are organizing is only for teacher and Spoc, not for student. We do not directly involve or interact with students, so kindly don't share these invitations with student. Okay, the next program that we do is called briefing on LMS. This is almost the 5th or 6th briefing program or orientation program that we are doing, where we will talk about the platform and about the entire course. So these are 3 sessions. If you have not attended or unga department you have a faculty who have not attended, kindly ask them to attend. Okay, you should have at least attended any one online session or briefing on LMS. Online session is for faculties who are not trained in the university. For them we are organizing the online session. Last step of the faculty, உங்களுக்கு final mark கொடுக்கிறோம் பாருங்க, 75 marks. And the mark you will have to enter it into the university portal. If you have a system where the process is based on that, you will have to input it. Kindly do that. So we will send it to the college, and from the college you will need to ensure that you input the mark for the student, so it gets incorporated in your semester mark sheet. Okay, so these are the 4 important tasks or activity of the teacher. So first, you will have to train students on either of the course, A2 or B1. Second, you will need to encourage students and ensure they complete all activities on the LMS. Third, you will have to attend the online session or orientation session, so you're clear about the program. Fourth, once the program is complete, you get the final mark, you will have to input that into your system. So this is the role of the teacher. Now I'm moving on to the role of the Spoc. So the Spoc needs to coordinate with English department or the teacher to conduct diagnostic test and final assessment. Activity pandrom, kindly keep the Spoc informed about it. Transparency between the Spoc and the English department. Both of you need to work hand in hand. So kindly ensure that whatever details we share with you, it goes to the Spoc. So kindly get Spoc support to do the diagnostic and the final assessment. Okay. Second important task of the Spoc, understand the progress of the program if there is any support needed. For example, in a college you might not have desktops or laptops. Kindly communicate that either with us or communicate it with NM Spoc. We will be sharing a consolidated form, so kindly let us know what ground challenges you have, so we can take that up to the NM team. Third important thing, there is called Ask Me Anything session every Friday, and there is a session where we do orientation on Cambridge English course. So ensure that all your Spocs attend this, so they are clear about the process. All student details are sent to the Spoc. So if you are part of today's orientation, if you have not received the student detail or you do not have clarity, kindly check with your Spoc. All students' credential is being sent to the Spoc. Okay, if there is any other question or if you still have doubts, you can write to us or call us on a number. I will share that at the end of my presentation. So this is the role of the Spoc. Okay, now I'm going to the most important part of it, which is the teachers portal. Sir, where do I download this syllabus? How do I track students' progress? A lot of you have asked me this question. Where do I download syllabus? How do I track my student progress? Should I create my batch? You need not do anything. All you need to do is go to this website, online.cambridgeconnect.org. You will have to go to this website. Kindly make a note of this URL, online.cambridgeconnect.org. Here, if you have attended our in-person workshop, we have already given you access. நீங்க in-person workshop attend பண்ணிருந்தீங்கன்னா எல்லா டீச்சர்ஸ்க்கு by default we would have given access. In case உங்களுக்கு access வரல, if you say I do not have access to the portal, sir, There is a Google form. You will have to use the Google form and submit as a request. Please remember, when you submit a request today, it takes 72 hours for us to give you access, or say more than 72 hours. The maximum we are trying to turn around your request is 72 hours. Okay, so kindly give us 3 days or 4 days to action on your Google form. Now, username is your mail ID. Google formல நீங்க என்ன mail ID கொடுக்குறீங்களோ அந்த mail ID kindly remember. Okay, எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரு professional ID இருக்கு, personal ID இருக்கு. Every one of us have two IDs. One is our personal ID, one is our professional ID. Some people have two personal IDs, two professional ID. So whatever ID you're filling in the Google form, kindly make a note of that ID. Kindly mention that in your username. So this is my username, nmtrainer@yopmail.com. This is what I've given. Password is standard, demo@123. Please remember, demo@123. Username is your mail ID that you filled in the form. Password is demo@123. The moment you give that and you enter in, okay, you get to see this dashboard. The second page that you see from your login page is this page. Okay, there are lots of icon in this. Do not worry about any of the icon. ஒரு டீச்சர் கேட்டாங்க, சார் நிறைய ஐகான் இருக்கு, can you explain? Kindly remember, you need not use or access any icon. There are only two icons that you need to use throughout the program. One is trainer resource, the second one is assessment. இந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்முக்கு ரெண்டு யூஸ். ஒன்னு உங்க சிலபஸை டவுன்லோட் பண்ண, செகண்ட் ஸ்டூடெண்டோட ப்ராக்ரஸை ட்ராக் பண்ண. திஸ் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் சர்வ்ஸ் டூ பர்பஸ். One is to download your syllabus or your class content. The second one is to track progress of your student. So I've highlighted it here, trainer resource and assessment. Let's look at trainer resource. So if you click on trainer resource, you get to see this entire course. Are you clear? If you click on trainer resource, you will get to see the course. You have A2 course, you have B1 course. ரெண்டு கோர்ஸ் பாப்பீங்க. ட்ரெய்னர் ரிசோர்ஸ் கிளிக் பண்ணும்போது A2 கோர்ஸ் and B1 கோர்ஸ் பாப்பீங்க. It would be arranged in ascending order. Starts with polite conversation and goes up to unit 15. So you will have unit 1, you will have unit 2, unit 3. We either call them session 2, session 3, or unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. So please keep in mind, the first one that you see is a lesson plan for teacher. The first worksheet that you see, A2 session 1 polite conversation, is a lesson plan for teacher. The second worksheet that you see is a worksheet for student. Okay, please note, the first worksheet that you see is for teacher. The second worksheet that you see is for student. So whenever you do a class, you will have to either put them in a group or request individual students to take a printout of this worksheet. So you will have to ensure that this worksheet is there with every student, or at least as a group activity, you will have to do it. Okay. Now moving on to the next part of it, which is assessment. So in assessment, you only need to use two tabs. If you want to view your students' performance, you click on student performance. நம்ம ரெண்டாவது tab பத்தி பேசுறோம். நீங்க ஸ்டூடெண்டோட பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸை வியூ பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறீங்கன்னா, நீங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட் பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் கிளிக் பண்ணீங்கன்னா இப்படி உங்களுக்கு வரும். Kindly change the date given your college name. Once you give that, you will get the student name, you will get an average score, you will get part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 diagnostic test. So the diagnostic test has 4 parts. It's a simple test with basic questions, which is multiple choice or fill in the blank, or an audio conversation with 3 questions. That is what students have to do. They have to go listen to the conversation, click, or if they will have to read the sentence, pick the right word and fill that in. Okay, once students have completed all 4 parts, they get an average score. So there are 4 parts to the test. Once they are done with the 4 parts, the system gives you an average score. Okay, if you see here, the student has 60% in part 1, in part 3 is 33%, part 3 is 83%, and in part 2 is 70%. But overall average is 61.68. So this is the average of the student. Now, if you want to export this, you click on performance report. Either நீங்க export பண்ணனும்னா, you click on performance report. Third important thing, there is something called as evaluation. Student வந்து speaking, writing exercise in the platform la பண்றாங்கன்னா, it comes to evaluation. It is not mandate that you need to evaluate, but you can use it as a best practice where you can, in your classroom, you can play certain audios or speech and tell your students what mistake they shouldn't make when they speak. Okay, so this is the second part to the platform. Okay, so with this, the purpose of the teacher platform is done. Please remember, teacher platform is only serves two purpose, or the objective is only two. One is to download your lesson plan. The other one is to track students' performance. Okay, all other icons that you see, questions, standard test, grade book, batch performance, roster, attendance, kindly ignore all of it. That is not connected with this program. So please ignore all of that. Don't go and experiment or don't make any changes. You need not do anything at the platform. All you need to do is access your course and you have to view students' performance, export and keep it. These are the two things that we expect you to do. Okay, here kindly, if you're not able to see your students' progress, change your date given your department. You will be able to see the students' progress. Okay, now we are going to go to the students' platform. Before that, I will pause for a minute to see if you have any questions regarding teaching platform or background about the course, and then we will get on to student platform. I will definitely repeat trainer's resource. In case my voice is not audible, I would request if you could reconnect. Might be a connectivity issue at your side. I hope others could hear me. Smita ma'am, thank you for that question. I will definitely answer that. Okay, I will answer this question on how can you see assessment of the student. So as I said, when you log into the portal, if your students have not taken the program, you would not be able to see them. Please remember, once you log into the portal, if students have not taken the assessment, you will not be able to see them. If you know that your students have taken the assessment, you're not able to see them, kindly bring it to our notice. I will tell you what has to be done. I will talk about that in the support slide. But once your students start taking the assessment, you should be able to see them on the portal. In case you're not able to see them, please let me know. I'm happy to support. Just 1 minute. I will go back to a few questions which I wanted to answer. If in students' performance, you see something called as not attempted, which means the student has not taken the program. So I would request either he would have skipped part 3 or part 2. So the student can go back and take that part 2 or part 3. Okay, so kindly request all students to complete all parts. So if you're not able to see one part, which means the student has not taken that, not attempted is basically he skipped the part by mistake. So he can always go back and retake the part. Okay, but if the student has taken all 4 parts, it's not allowing him to retake, but still it shows not attempted. Kindly take a screenshot of it and send it to us. We will check at the back end to see if there is any technical issue. Okay. Yeah. And do not worry about the colors. The colors are just an indication to say what is like A1, A2, B1. So that's a internal indication. You need not worry about the color codes there. But all you need to worry about is whether students have taken the diagnostic test and is it being captured there. Okay, if you say all students have taken all 4 parts but it says not attempted, kindly bring it to our notice. That is most important. So please ensure that all your students take the diagnostic test and it reflects. Okay. As I said, for this, you need not do anything to add a student name. It all is added at the backend. You only need to share credentials. I will come to it a little later to say how do you add or how do you activate student's name. Mani sir, let's take this separate at the end of the session, not now. Where to report if students' name are missing, we will talk about that at the end of the session. Okay, so I just made a note of student name missing and adding student's name. We will discuss that once I'm done with the session. Okay, so whatever I'm explaining right now is for teacher. Okay, I'm going back to my teacher part of it because I think a lot of messages that I see says, can you explain the teacher part of it? So I'm just going back to the teacher portal. Okay. I hope all of you could see this trainer resource. So please keep in mind, there are two courses in trainer resource, A2 course and B1 course. In trainer's resource, there are two courses, A2 course and B1 course. Each course will have 15 units. Trainer resource la 15 course irukku. Sorry, trainer resource la rendu course irukku. A2 course, B1 course. A2 course எடுத்தீங்கன்னா 15 unit, B1 course எடுத்தீங்கன்னா 15 unit. The trainer resource will have two courses, A2 and B1. In each course, there is 15 units. Okay. The first sheet that you see called A2 session 1 polite conversation. This is your master sheet. It is only for teachers. It's not for students. Please remember A2 session 1 polite conversation that you see is only for teacher. The next worksheet that you see, A2 session 1 polite conversation input sheet, is for student. Okay, we would either mention it saying lesson plan for teachers or we would mention it as student sheet. If you're logging it from the portal, you will see it as A2 session 1 polite conversation. If you see A2 session 1 polite conversation, keep in mind this is for teachers. If you see A2 session 1 polite conversation with the word called input sheet, please remember if you're accessing the syllabus or the course from the portal, you will have this word called polite conversation input sheet. Input sheet is for students. நீங்க input sheet பாத்தீங்கன்னா that is for students, it's not for teacher. So you will have to share that input sheet with your class and put them into groups to do activity. So in your plan, you will detail see what has to be done. Now this will focus on speaking and writing predominantly. Don't worry about listening, reading, we give them digital access. இது உங்க NM periodல you will have to teach them this. This is your syllabus. Those 15 units that you see, which is called language for proficiency, employability or communicative English or part 2 paper, whatever is the terminology that you use, this is the syllabus that you're going to teach them in the next 2 months. Please keep in mind these 15 units that you see is what you're going to teach students in their classroom. Once you're done with that, there is something that students have to do. We are going to discuss that in detail. I hope you're clear with, as a teacher, what you should do in classroom. Does anybody still have a doubt in that? All classes happen offline. For teacher, the classes are offline. For student, it is mixed. You have offline and online. So for teacher, I hope you're clear. Those 15 units is what you will have to go and teach in those 2 NM periods. In a week, you have 2 NM periods. In the NM period, you will have to teach those 15 units. So per day, your focus will be on completing 1 unit. That is how it is structured. The program is designed. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going back to the student part of it. So student portal remains the same. Okay, online.cambridgeconnect.org. If you give that, this is the same URL for teacher and student. For teacher and student, it is the same URL, online.cambridgeconnect.org. In username, you give NMID. Every Spoc would have received an unique ID for each student. Okay, if you have 1,000 students, 1,000 NMIDs would have been sent to the Spoc. All 1,000 students will have a unique username. It is not the same. Please remember, your username is not the same. And NMID is something that Cambridge shares with you with concern from Naan Mudhalvan team. So please keep in mind, NMID is a unique ID for the student. That is their username. Kindly do not type NMID. I mentioned it here saying NMID. So in username, don't type NMID. I see a lot of people making that mistake. The moment I say NMID, there are some institutions who make a mistake in taking your username given. You would have had a username called MKUEC11BCom. Don't use that username. NMID is an alphanumeric. I will show you how the NMID looks like. So you will have to give NMID in your username. Password is English at 23, capital E at 23. You give that as password, you log in. The moment you log in, you get to see this next page. Is it clear? Username for students is NMID. Password is English at 23. For teachers, it is their mail ID. Password is demo at 123, capital D. So once you log in, first step that a student needs to do. ஸ்டூடெண்ட் பண்ண வேண்டிய முதல் ஸ்டெப் வந்து டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டெஸ்ட்டை கம்ப்ளீட் பண்றது. டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டெஸ்ட் ஷுட் நாட் டேக் யூ மோர் தென் 25 minutes. உங்க டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டெஸ்ட் வந்து 25 நிமிஷத்துக்கு மேல உங்களுக்கு எடுக்கக்கூடாது. இட்ஸ் 4 parts. The max you can take is 25 minutes to complete your diagnostic test. Okay? எப்போ diagnostic test நாங்க பண்ணணும்? When should you do this diagnostic test? Student எப்போ ஃப்ரீயா இருக்காங்களோ ஈவினிங் டைம்ல யூ கேன் கெட் தெம் டூ தி டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டெஸ்ட். என்எம் பீரியட்ல டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டெஸ்ட் பண்ண வேண்டாம். இன் யோர் என்எம் பீரியட் யூ நீட் நாட் டூ டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டெஸ்ட். த ரீசன் ஐ சே தட் இஸ் யூ ஆர் ஆல்ரெடி ஷார்ட் ஆன் டைம். Okay, you need more time. So in that time, if you're going to do diagnostic test, you will not be able to complete your course. You have 15 units to complete. Kindly focus on it. When students are free or in the evening, they can complete their diagnostic test. So இன்னைக்கு உங்க credentials வந்திருக்குன்னா you can take 1 week to complete. 1000 student இருக்காங்கன்னா batch wise in the evening time, free time, அந்த டைம்ல they can do the diagnostic test. First step for a student is to complete diagnostic test. Once students have completed diagnostic test, உங்க கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல நீங்க A2 course teach பண்றீங்கன்னா student பண்ண வேண்டியது A2 course. If in your classroom you're teaching an A2 course, students will need to do an A2 course. If you're teaching a B1 course, students will need to do B1 course. Diagnostic test mandatory. Diagnostic test க்கு அப்புறம் A2 course பண்ணனும். Either any one course, A2 இல்ல B1. ஏதாவது ஒரு கோர்ஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் கம்பல்சரி பண்ணிருக்கணும். திருப்பியும் சொல்றேன், டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டெஸ்ட் மேண்டேட்டரி. A2 இல்ல B1 ஏதாவது ஒரு கோர்ஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் should have definitely completed. As a part of A2 course, you have midterm exam. 7 யூனிட் முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஒரு midterm exam இருக்கும். Student should have done the midterm exam. சரிங்களா? இது ரெண்டுமே mandatory. Diagnostic test A2 or B1 is mandatory. டைம் இருந்தால், ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் டயக்னோஸ்டிக் டெஸ்ட் முடிச்சுட்டாங்க, A2 கோர்ஸ் முடிச்சுட்டாங்க, எங்களுக்கு டைம் இருக்கு சார் அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா அடிஷனல் பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுங்க. If you have already done the diagnostic test, if students have done the diagnostic test, if they have done the A2 course, they have time, kindly encourage them to do additional practice. Okay, if you're teaching a B1 course, you can skip A2 course. Students will have to complete diagnostic test, B1 course and B1 additional practice. Okay, so additional practice is only on availability of the student and the time he has. So if students are free, they have completed their program, they can focus on additional practice. But diagnostic test and mid course and mid progression test is mandatory. Students should have done it. I'm moving on to the next part of the student. which is the final assessment. Okay. So I will talk about the final assessment little later, but this is what you do on the online platform. I hope all of you are clear with this. Okay. So now moving on to the expectation from a teacher. So teacher நாங்க எதிர்பார்க்கிறது என்னன்னா support in delivery of the diagnostic test. You will have to ensure that all your students have completed the digital course. Digital course la there is diagnostic test, learning and mid progression test, final assessment. All these 4 steps have to be completed. You have to track students progress. Second, you will have to teach any one course, either A2 or B1 depending on the class performance. You teach them. Third, you will have to encourage students to complete the self-assessed learning. So these are the expectation that we have from a teacher. Okay. From a Spoc, you will have to track the progress of the entire program. Please ensure that diagnostic test is completed by all students. Ella student diagnostic test mid progression and learning complete பண்றாங்களா, please check that. The second part is உங்க faculty, English faculty ki if there is any support needed, student or detail add agla, I need to add my student detail, that kindly offer support for them. Illa enga lab la infrastructure illa, kindly inform either NM Spoc or us so we can decide what best could be done. And if you need to liaise with us or the NM team, feel free to do. These are the 3 expectations from a Spoc. Track the progress of the course, offer support to the English department, and if required, you liaise with us or you liaise with the NM team. This is an expectation from a Spoc. Expectation from a student. Student should have completed diagnostic test. It is mandatory. They should have done learning either A2 or B1, and they should have done mid progression test. After that, they should have done final assessment. Time permits, they do additional practice. This is an expectation from a student. Okay. Moving on to the next part of it. A lot of you asked me, why is diagnostic test mandatory? So the plan or the process in place is you first have to start with diagnostic test, then you're teaching. Since we do not have time and we are short on time, we are doing both parallelly. We are starting teaching and we are also doing diagnostic test. So please keep in mind, if your score says below 55, which means your student can be possibly at a level A1, this is the course material you need to use. The reason why we do diagnostic test is to go scientific, to say which course material has to be used in classroom. So if your students are below 55, you will use A2 course material in classroom. If your students are between 56 to 94, you will use B1 course material in classroom. Please keep in mind, when we say 56 to 84, possibly they are at a level A2, 85 to 94 a possibility at a level B1. So which means you will have to use B1 course in classroom. You will have some students who are always good or excellent in their academic performance or overall performance. Those students can be a part of B1 classroom. Okay. So A2, B1 and B2 will be a part of one group. A1 will be a part of the other group. Now the question you will have, sir, in my class we have 40 students. How do I go about it? Very simple. I'm going back to this slide. So if you look this, it says overall average is 43.61. Okay. Which means technically I will only teach an A2 course in classroom. Okay. Or the other way that I do it is I look at individual performance of my class. For example, say these students are my class. Okay. There's only one student who has got 61%. All of them are below 55%, which means I will only teach an A2 course in classroom. Please keep in mind, I look at my average score. I only teach an A2 course in my classroom because the majority of my class is at possible level A1. So I will teach an A2 course in the classroom. Okay. So this is how you will look and you will decide which course has to be taught in the classroom. But since we are running short of time, I've told you start with A2 course. Once diagnostic test is done, if you need to upgrade, you upgrade it to B1. If not, you continue with A2. Okay. Now coming to the final assessment part of it. Okay, so the final part, once you're done with your teaching, students have done with diagnostic test, learning, mid-progression test, the last part that students will do is final assessment. Final assessment is all 4 skills: speaking, listening, reading, writing. LSRW, speaking, listening, reading, writing. Please keep in mind, it's a mobile based test, or you can also take it on web browser. Each part will have 5 parts. So the training that you give in classroom and the digital learning that he does is what will help him for the final assessment. If you have trained him on 15 units, if he's used the activity sheet, if they have done the digital learning, okay, you need not worry about final assessment. நல்ல ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க, நீங்க கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல அவங்கள டீச் பண்ணியிருந்தீங்கன்னா, ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து அவங்களோட செல்ஃப் ஆக்சஸ் லேர்னிங் முடிச்சிருந்தாங்கன்னா, ஃபைனல் அசஸ்மெண்ட் பத்தி கவலைப்பட வேண்டாம். They will definitely score well. 50 out of 50 they will definitely get. But if you have skipped any one part, then there will be an impact on the final assessment. Final assessment பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி, before we do the final assessment, we will share clear instructions on how should you conduct the final assessment. How should you go about it? We will share that. There's also a practice test for the final assessment. Right now, do not worry about final assessment. Focus on your diagnostic test, mid progression test, and your learning. As I said, NM period la neenga teach பண்ணுங்க. Students free இருக்கிற டைம்ல encourage them to do the diagnostic test. Give them 3 days and ensure they complete the diagnostic test in those 3 days. So please keep this in mind. Okay. Now moving on to timelines to keep in mind. Please note, this is for institutions who have received credential. நாங்க 1016 இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷனுக்கு credential ஷேர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். அந்த ரிசீவ் பண்ண இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் வந்து has to keep this timeline in mind. Sir, my institution has not received credential. This does not apply to you. Okay, உங்க இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ல இன்னும் credential வரலனா, kindly fill a Google form. I will be sharing a consolidated link in the group today. So kindly fill that form. Okay. So please keep in mind, யாரெல்லாம் credentials receive பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, whoever has received your student's credential, this is a timeline you need to keep in mind. By 20th March, you should have ensured students have done the diagnostic test. On or before 10th April, students should have completed digital learning and mid-progress assessment. Starting from 11th April to 30th April, we will be doing the final assessment. So technically, we only have 25 days left. We are on 14th of March, so we only have 25 days left. So please keep this in mind. Diagnostic test before 20th of March. We have already shared this on 8th of March. So by 20th of March, ensure all your students complete the diagnostic test. Second step, once they're done with the diagnostic test, ask them to go with digital learning, and then they will have to do the mid-progress assessment, which is a part of your digital learning. That's why I've combined it. This has to be completed by 10th April. Final assessment by 11th to 30th April, it will be organized. In case, if you have chosen 30th April, there is a gap for institution. In that gap, they can do additional practice. I hope this is clear with all institutions who are participating today. Okay. What is the support that we are going to offer? As I said, every Friday, if you have a specific question or if there is a challenge, there is a session called Ask Me Anything. You will have various people from Cambridge and Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation participating. You can put forth your question. We will answer it on the call. If not, we will connect with you later and ensure it is resolved. 6th of March onwards, we are doing online program. This week, there are 4 more sessions organized. இன்னும் 4 teacher training session நடக்க போகுது. In case you have a faculty who has not attended, kindly ask them to attend. Any technical issue, there is a Google form. I will share those links with you. Kindly click on that and submit your request. We will revert to you in 72 hours. So depending on the issue, we will ensure that we respond to you. If your teachers do not have access to the portal, kindly use this link. Please ensure that all teachers have access to this portal. Okay. Kindly ensure teachers submit their request so we give them access to the portal. Now, if you have doubts, sir, எனக்கு வந்து இந்த கேள்வி இருக்கு, எனக்கு I need to ask this question, I do not have clarity. any time between 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, please call this number. Monday to Friday, between 9 to 5, 42887775. Please call this number. Okay, so there is a team to answer your queries and offer support. If you still do not get an answer there, then you reach out through mail. You write an email called cambridgenmproject@gmail.com explaining what is the support you require or what is the query you have. We will pick and respond to this. Okay. So I would recommend you call us. In case if you're not able to reach out on phone, kindly go ahead and send us an email. We will respond to you. Okay. Next one. There are different groups. Every university has a group. Okay, this is the code word for the university. Periyar University, Bharatidasan University, Bhardiyar University. Please ensure you are part of the group. All important information regarding Cambridge program is posted on the group. In case if you or your Spoc is not in the group, kindly share the link and add yourself on the group. Okay. So this is the links for various group. I will also send this to you. Okay. In case if you want that link, kindly text this number. Do not call. Please remember, do not call us. I'm again emphasizing, kindly do not call. Kindly send a text message saying, add me in BDU group. Add me in Bhardiyar University group. We will add you on that group. We will share a link. You click on the link, you can get added onto the group. So kindly don't call. We will not be able to pick calls. If you want to call us, please call us on this number. I'm again re-emphasizing, நீங்க எங்கள்கிட்ட பேசணும் இல்ல கூப்பிடணும், இந்த நம்பர் யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க. To call us, kindly use this number. Groupல add பண்ணணும்னா, we are giving you an option. Send us a WhatsApp message. We will add you on this group. Okay. So this is, I hope you're clear with this. We will move on to the most important part, which is the online access. Is there any questions that you have? Vinita ma'am, kindly send a message. We will add you on to the group. You will also receive this presentation. After the session, you will get an email with this recording. You can access the recording as well as the PPT. Kindly send a message. We will add you on to the group. Participant certificate, let me look into it. As I said, for in-person workshop, we have already sent. Teacher support program for 8th session, we have sent. The remaining we have not sent. We will come back to you. Whoever has attended in-person workshop, not received the certificate, we will ensure that you get your certificate by the end of the week. We are working on it. Kindly give us time. Credential is basically username, password, sir. Rather than credentials is what I meant. Okay. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the important part of it. Just give me a minute. I am just sharing my screen. எல்லாருக்குமே இந்த எக்ஸல் கிடைச்சிருக்கும். I hope all of you have got this Excel. Okay, we have sent this Excel which has your student's credential or student's username and password. I hope all of you have this. All you need to do is you go click on your college name. For example, I am from AKD Dharmaraja Women's College. I click on this. Okay, I just give okay. The moment I give okay, it tells me the total number of students. நான் இந்த எக்ஸல்ல போய் கிளிக் பண்ணேன்னா பண்ணோன்னே எனக்கு total number of students கொடுக்கும். If I just double click on this, my entire student's credential opens. Can you see this? You just need to print this and put it on your notice board. BA English notice board. So you can just go here and filter. You just click BA English. You just click this. மொத்தம் 24 ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இருக்காங்க. BA English AKD Dharmaraja Women's College. இதை நீங்க just copy paste பண்ணணும். That's it. Are you clear with this? So this is your username. This is your password. So every student will have unique username and unique password. Okay. Just for reference, I'm going to take one username and explain to you so you're clear about it. We are just going back to the portal onlinecambridgeconnect.org. Okay, this is the so I'm just copying the username, password English at 23. I'm logging in. So you get into it. This is for student. Okay. So please keep in mind this is for student. I'm just going to click on view details. Diagnostic test, as I said, self-explanatory. They just click on diagnostic test here. Okay. Part 1, open assessment. So simple questions you will have to answer. Okay. If you just give save and next, it will go to second question. Okay. Third question. Just save and next, it will go to the next question. Save and next. Okay. You read the question, you do it. This is part 1. Now I'm going back. Okay. I'm just saying, are you sure you want to quit? I say confirm. Please note you can always go back and change your answers. Unless you submit the test, you will not be able to go back and change. Can you see question 1? This is a live credential of a student. So please keep in mind, once you're submitted, when you do the 15th question, it will ask you submit. Okay. Once you submit, you will not be able to go back and change it. Okay. So I'm just going back, confirm. Now I'm doing part 2. Okay. Open assessment. You just need to drag and drop. Okay. You just give save and next, drag and drop. Okay. I'm just going back to the first assessment. My answer is here, just back. Okay. Now again, I'm clicking on second assessment, open assessment. Okay. If I need to change this, I can always go ahead and change it. Okay. So I've just changed this here. Yeah. Okay. Part 3. Please see open assessment. So you just need to click on this, move your cursor onto the right. Okay. The 6th one is the last question. You give the option, you give submit, it gets submitted. Okay. I'm just going back. I'm closing this. Part 4. Once you're done, for every individual part, you will get a separate score. Please keep in mind, for every individual part, you will get a separate score. I will also show you how the score looks like. So you will have to give in your username, NMID, password, you will have to give demo at 123. Once you're done, ask students to take the diagnostic test. Once they are done, they start with A2 course. So the second step a student needs to do is go through the A2 course. Okay, there are 15 units. Some units will have 2 activities, some units will have 4 activities. So they just need to read the instruction, click on the link, they click it, a different page would open, they will be able to take the program. Okay. So that is what students need to do. I'm just going back to show you how it would look like. This is, I've closed, I'm logging out of this portal. I'm using my credentials to share with you. So if you see here, if you have taken the test, it will say 14 out of 15. I'll not be able to go and retake test. You can only take the test once. Okay. If you see here, it says assessment review or review. So which means I will not be able to take. So when students complete, kindly ask them to check this. Okay. So if they have done this, which means it is captured, you can go to your teacher portal and check this. Okay. So please ensure that students take this test. Okay. So this is for student. Teacher, I'm just going back here. I'm just going to take you through the course. Okay. So let's see the teachers unit. Can you see this on the screen, teachers unit? I hope all of you can see the future. All of you can see the teacher's unit number 15. Great. Thank you, Sivakumar sir, for confirming that. All you need to do is just go through this worksheet a day before your class. It gives you clear instructions what has to be done. You just need to follow this. Here it sets the objective of what is this future, and then after that it says step 1 old class warm up. Say with gesture is this time now. Okay, so you will have to do this with a gesture. In case you do not know how to use this worksheet, request you to attend the teacher orientation. If you do not know how to use the worksheet, kindly go ahead and attend the teacher orientation. We will be able to explain it to you. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. So you'll just need to follow these instructions, what has to be done. So here in step 3, they say, arrange students into pair, demonstrate question and answers. Will you buy a house? Okay, so these are questions you will ask. Ask student to ask and answer questions about their future plan. What are you going to do 5 years from now? Okay, share the partner plan to another. So you basically put them in 2 groups and you have to speak about the future. Okay, so what questions you could ask, you give this on your board. So if you have a blackboard, you give them an example to say these questions is something that you can ask, and then you put them into group and ask them to interact. Okay, example, Monisha is sure she will study abroad. She won't work abroad, but she will return to India. Okay, monitor pairs and makes immediate correction with appropriate technique. So this, how to do a pair work, is what we teach in the teacher orientation program. So all a teacher needs to do, teacher enna pannanona, just they have to download this and just follow this instruction step by step. In the instruction step 1 to step 9, they need to follow. Student worksheet la you will not see this. You will not see step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Ninga paaka matinga. Teacher worksheet la da you will see that. Okay. If you just scroll down, you have something called as input sheet. Think and hope. So this is all connected to student. In the input 15.1a, 15.1b is for students. So based on this is what you do your activity for their future. Okay, so there are different situations which we do group activity on. So if you just close this, you come back to the same. If you just click on input sheet or student sheet, you will find this is what students will do. So this will have only student worksheet. Okay, so this is something which students will have to bring to class. If there is a challenge in bringing the printout to the class, kindly ask 5 students to take a printout and come. You put them into groups of 10 and you do this. Okay, so this is the student worksheet. There will not be step 1, step 2, step 3. In students worksheet, you will only find this. Input 15.3a, 15.1b, 15.2a. So this is students worksheet. Okay, so this is your syllabus. There are 15 years for A to B1. You will at least have to complete all 15. For all 15, at least try and complete 12 units. So that is your focus from till April 10th. Okay, so this is for student and for teacher. I have already showed you how to go ahead and access your details. So kindly encourage students to start with the diagnostic test, monitor that performance online. Is there any other question that you have regarding the program? Yeah. Okay, so I've already downloaded the syllabus. Your syllabus is available on the teachers portal. In case you do not have your teachers access, there is a delay for your teachers access. I will share a Google link for you. So in today's, by tonight, I will send you a consolidated 1-pager email that will have all links to join the WhatsApp group, link to join, download the course or your syllabus, links if you have a challenge, technical challenge, a link to file a complaint for your technical challenge. So there will be like a consolidated 1-pager from me which will have all details. I will send a separate one pager on the teacher training program. So that by tonight I will get it sent, or latest by tomorrow I will get that sent to you. Diagnostic scores, you can check that on your teacher portal. I said student performance and performance report. So if you click that, you will be able to see your diagnostic test result. Now coming back to student name missing and adding student name. So say in your college, if there are 800 candidates, you have received only details of 600 candidates. First thing you need to do is check whether the student of 200 is on the NM portal. If 200 students are there in the NM portal, then either contact the program manager or give us an heads up to say that 200 student is missing. We will coordinate with NM and see what best can be done. Okay, if your student name is missing in the sheet, which means check in the NM portal. If you have added that in the NM portal, then inform us. We will coordinate with the NM team. We will update you. If you do not know the program manager, if you already know the program manager, I would recommend you reach out to the program manager. The first step, if there is name missing or student detail incorrect, you reach out to NM team. If you're not able to get them, then you share that info with us. We will reach out to you. But keep us in loop so we are aware that this college has not received the credentials. Okay. Okay. Interesting question by Sindhu ma'am. How we track students branch wise? So in your dashboard, you can only see overall performance of the college. You will not be able to track it batch wise. But what you could do is export it to an Excel and delete students who are not part of your group, or look at the overall performance. And all teachers need to drive this program. We don't want it to be department wise, where BCom department teacher only focuses on BCom department. Overall, if your college has 500 students, we want all 500 students to take the program. So say today you tell students to take the diagnostic test, monitor the dashboard to see are students progressing. Today I have 100 students done, tomorrow 200 doing. After 3 days, if you only have 400 students, then we will identify the remaining 100 students who need to do the program and we will speak to them. So ensure the overall performance of the college. So to answer your question, you will not be able to track it department wise. Overall performance wise is what you will be able to track the performance. So if there are 20 teachers in the department, all 20 teachers will have access to all 800 students. Okay, so that is how it is mapped on the system. Ma'am, if you do not have any students in your teacher portal, don't worry. Ask students to take the diagnostic test. The moment they take the diagnostic test, it will start reflecting in your portal. All you need to do is change the date, click submit. You will be able to see the result. If you're not able to see the result, kindly send us an email with the screenshot and college name. We will revert to you. If not, I will be sharing a Google form. Kindly use the Google form. Send us a request. We will look into it. Yeah, I will show the Excel sheet once again. So I'm just sharing my screen again. Please see, this is the dashboard for the student's credential. Click on this icon. If your college is AET college, you click on it. You just say okay. 167 students. Double click this. It will open in a new sheet. This is AET college's detail. Okay. All you need to do is either print this and put it on the notice board, or take department printouts and put it up on the notice board. This is your student user ID and this is their password. Every student will have an unique individual ID. The ID is not same. Okay. I hope this is clear. If you have not got teacher access, kindly submit the Google form. If you submitted the Google form, please send a top-up email to say, I've submitted the Google form on 10th of March. I still not received access. We will look into it. But as I said, do not worry about teachers' access. I will share the course units to you. To track students' performance, you will need teacher access. So in case if it is more than 72 hours, you have not got teacher access, Kindly give us an heads up. We will update you on what is the status or why there is a delay from our end. Okay. Ma'am, in your diagnostic test, you will have an overall average. You need to look at the overall average of your diagnostic test. I've clearly showed you that you don't look at individual parts. Overall average in your teacher's portal, you will have saying 40%, 60%. So look at the overall average. Based on your overall average, you decide whether would you want to teach an A2 course or B1 course. Since we are running short of time, by default, I've told you teach an A2 course so that we will be able to do justice to the program. Once your students have completed diagnostic test, if they are above 56%, you have already done 3 units of A2, then you do the remaining units of B1. So there will be a balance. Okay. I will share syllabus in the group. I will give you all links in the group. There will be a consolidated email from my side. I will send you a consolidated email with WhatsApp link, number to call. All information will be shared in one consolidated mail. Kindly take a printout of that and put it up on your notice board or look into it so that you're clear. In case you're not able to access the Excel sheet and download the data, kindly send us a message or send us a mail. We will send you the Excel for your college. Okay. In case you have some issues, your Excel is outdated, not updated, kindly send us a message or a mail stating that we have not received, or call us between 9 to 5. We will mail those details to your ID which you want. All students can do the test on the single day, ma'am. It's completely fine. If you're doing it at one go in the computer lab, I would say give some time. Like say, if student 1 starts at 1826, ensure student 2 starts at 1828. Because please remember, for the digital learning, your internet connectivity needs to be good. Please remember, your internet connectivity needs to be good. If your internet connectivity is not stable, you will either get it buffering or you will have problems with your program. If your internet connectivity is stable, you can go ahead and do the test anytime at one single go. You should not have any issue. Okay. Sir, we have given you the department wise. So if you have same names, the best you could do is differentiate them with the department wise. That's the only option that for now. But if it is still confusing, we will have to take it on a one-off case. Kindly call us and let's see what best we could do. Students learning material, as I said, on request we should be able to give you access, or you can use my mail id samuel.sridhar@cambridge.org. If you check that, you will be able to see the learning course of the student. But for teacher, you will only know whether is your student progressing on the program or not. You will not have access to the student learning. That would not be a part of your access. So please keep that in mind. Okay, sir, whatever is fed on the system, whoever has inputted the data on the system, we have extracted it based on the system. So that is how it has come to us. If there is any mistake in that, I'm really sorry about it. Please let us know so we can update the Excel and send it to you. Okay, so kindly let us know if a city is missing. It's called Government Arts College, Manachanallur. Kindly let us know if it is missing so we can update that. You will not have any problem in the future. So whatever you input into the system, that is what comes out. So the entire database that I'm sharing with you is what is being inputted into the system. We have not added or deleted anything in that. That is what we have received from the NM team. Based on it, we have created access and given it to you. Okay. The diagnostic test, the digital learning, the mid progression test, and final assessment has to be done by students, invigilated by the faculty. So faculties will need to conduct this. It has to be done by the student, not the faculty. Faculty only needs to train them on speaking and writing. Somebody has asked this question. I'm responding to it. Okay. If any of you want to speak, I can accept a few requests. I think Muttumari ma'am, Prem Kumar, Purushottam and Kavita, I've accepted all your requests. If there is any question that you have, feel free to let me know. So I've added a few people. I hope all of you are able to speak. Another few minutes, we'll just answer a few queries and go. Hi Niveda ma'am, very good evening. Sophia ma'am, welcome. I can see a few other presenters joining one at a time. I've just accepted your request, ma'am. I think I've almost answered all your questions today. Okay. Thank you so much, Komadi, ma'am. Ma'am, the activities, for certain activities, we have already given the answer in the input sheet. You will have that in the input sheet. Answers would be there. It will also be there in your lesson plan. For some, it's basic questions. We are not given the answer. You elicit answer from the student. So there is no right or wrong answer. Based on the question, all of you are experts in English. You will know the answer to it. So kindly just check your input sheet. You will have the answer for a few activities. The rest, we want students to find the answer and come up with it. So it will be there in the input sheet and in your teacher's plan. So kindly check that. Yeah, diagnostic test is just to understand their level, but it is mandate all students have to do the diagnostic test. Student teacher ratio, it's completely up to you. We recommend to have 30 or 40 students in a class. That is what is an ideal size. But if your class structure is 60, I would not be able to change it. So I would say whatever is the activity, put them into groups. If you have 60, segregate them into 15 groups or 10 groups, whichever is easy for you. So kindly do that. Nirmala ma'am, kindly let me know which college you are. I can check your student's credential and let me know. So kindly send me a message. I would be able to support you, or just call us between 9 to 5. We will be able to help out. As I said, you will not add details on student on the Excel. You have to upload your NM portal. If you're uploaded the NM portal, then kindly coordinate with the program manager or keep us informed. We will be able to support you. Credentials are username and password of students. So we call them credentials. So that is credentials is what is called. There is no limit. As I said, assessments can be only done once by student. So if there is an assessment in the program, it can only be done once. Learning can be taken multiple times. If there is any activity related on learning, you do that multiple times. If there is an assessment, you can only do it once. Okay. You need not make lesson plan. Already we have given you a lesson plan. So those lesson plan or syllabus is 15 units. You just need to follow that. There is no lesson plan or any effort required from your side. All you need to do is download our lesson plan or syllabus, go to the classroom and teach. That is what we expect. As I said, it is online. You go to online.cambridgeconnect.org. So you need not download app. All you need is an internet connectivity and a Google Chrome. If you have Google Chrome, open it, say online.cambridgeconnect.org. You will be able to access the entire course for student and teacher. So thank you so much. Enjoy your evening, and I think I've answered all your questions. In case if you still have questions that is not answered, let's connect on Friday and take them. If not, kindly call us anytime between 9 to 5 on 044 4288 7775. 4288 anytime between 9 to 5, call us. We have a team to support you, and look forward to your support in order to make this a huge success. So kindly work with us and offer support, and we will definitely create an impact in the lives of the students. So all the best to you and the students who are going to take the test and the learning.